Chapter 2. The Stranger. One morning, soon afterward, Helen woke up early. She could not see the daylight, but she smelled bacon cooking. She knew it was time to get up. Her mother hurried Helen through breakfast and dressed her carefully. Helen did not know what was happening. She felt excited. When her father lifted her into the carriage, she wondered where they were going. Soon they were on the train. Helen did not understand the strange rumble of the wheels, but she could feel that they were moving. She could feel the train rocking and swaying. When the whistle blew, she could feel the vibrations. Helen's mother and father were taking her on a long trip to Baltimore, in Maryland. They took her to a famous doctor who had helped many blind children. They hoped he could help Helen. After the doctor had tested Helen's eyes and ears, he shook his head. Helen will always be blind and deaf, he told her parents, but she is very intelligent. She can learn. Perhaps Dr. Alexander Graham Bell can help you find someone to teach her. The Kellers went to Washington to see Dr. Bell. He was famous as the inventor of the telephone. He spent many years working to help deaf people. Helen did not know why they made another visit. She did not know the kind man who held her on his knee. She touched his face and felt his gentle smile. He let Helen hold his watch against her cheek. She could feel it tick. Dr. Bell told Captain Keller about a school for blind children in Boston, Massachusetts. It was called the Perkins Institute. There was a girl named Laura Bridgman who was blind and deaf, Dr. Bell said. Dr. Howe at the Perkins School taught her to understand words by spelling with his fingers. He pressed the letters against her hand and showed her how to make each letter of the alphabet with her own fingers. Dr. Howe is dead. You must write to Dr. Aganos at the Perkins School. Ask him to find a teacher who will help Helen. After the journey home to Alabama, Helen lived in the same dark world again. Her mind was like a wild bird in a cage. She still flew into terrible tempers. She did not know that her mother and father were hoping that Dr. Aganos could send a teacher for her. Many months passed. Then one spring day, Helen felt the excitement in the house again. All day she grew more curious. She waited on the front porch until at last she felt the thud of the horse's hoofs in the drive. The carriage stopped. There was a thump as a heavy suitcase was set down. Helen felt new footsteps coming toward her. Her curiosity was bursting. She rushed at the stranger and felt a young woman's arm go around her. Helen's fingers flew over the new face and clothes and handbag. The stranger had a nice smiling face. She took Helen's hand and led her upstairs. Soon Helen was helping the stranger unpack. She found a doll. From the stranger's signs, she understood that it was a present for her. Helen hugged the doll. Then she felt the stranger take her hand and make a queer sign in it with her fingers. Helen felt the same sign over and over. The stranger was making the letters that spelled DOLL. She was showing Helen her very first word in the finger alphabet, but Helen did not understand. Helen was frightened. She threw the doll away and ran to find her mother. The stranger was a young woman named Anne Sullivan. Dr. Aganos had sent Anne from the Perkins School in Boston. Anne had been a pupil in the school. She had been almost blind herself, but her blindness was not the same as Helen's. When she was 16, she had an operation to help her see again. Now Anne was 21. Her eyes were still weak, but she had started out to earn her living. She had come to Tuscumbia to be Helen Keller's teacher. Soon, Miss Annie was a new member of the family.